When did your parents realize their lazy kid was carrying them? I was watching TV when my dad walked up and turned it off mid-episode. Stop wasting electricity, you leech, he yelled. From now on, you pay your own utilities or you sit in the dark. We're tired of you draining our bank account. I stared at him, confused and annoyed. For years, I'd been quietly handling most of our household bills through my part-time job at the electric company. I got employee discounts and knew which programs could save us money, but I never made a big deal about it. I kept my mouth shut, went to my room, and started separating my stuff from theirs. My parents looked satisfied that night, confident they'd finally stop their spoiled son from bleeding them dry financially. The next month, reality hit them like a truck. Without my employee discount, their electric bill jumped from $180 to $340. The gas bill went from $90 to $200 because I'd been enrolled in a special program for employees' families. My parents were furious when they opened those bills. These companies are scamming us, Dad complained. It never cost this much before, but it had. They'd just never seen the real prices because I'd been covering the difference with my paychecks and discounts. They called every utility company demanding explanations. The customer service reps kept telling them their rates were standard, but my parents insisted there had to be some mistake because their bills had tripled overnight. Mom tried switching to cheaper companies she found online. She fell for every scam in the book. Signed up for a solar panel lease that cost $400 monthly. Got convinced to buy a water filter system for $200 that did absolutely nothing. They missed payment deadlines because they didn't know when bills were due. I'd been setting up automatic payments and tracking due dates for years. Late fees started piling up. $35 here, $50 there. By month 3, my parents had racked up $800 in late fees alone. Half their appliances stopped working because Mom bought the wrong type of energy-efficient bulbs that weren't compatible with our old house. I honestly wanted to help them, but every time I tried to explain what went wrong, they'd cut me off. Now you want to help after we kicked you off our accounts, Mom would snap. Christmas arrived and my whole extended family came over. I was in my room when I heard Uncle Steve's voice carrying through the walls, asking why it was so cold in the house. Dad started complaining about how expensive utilities had become and how these companies were robbing honest families. My Aunt Lisa interrupted him mid-sentence. Wait, your electric bill is $500? Mine's only $120 and I have a bigger house. Uncle Steve jumped in. Are you serious? I pay $85 for gas. What company are you using? The voices started overlapping as relatives shared their normal utility costs. You're getting scammed. Those aren't real rates. Why didn't you shop around? Did you lose your employee discount somewhere? I snuck downstairs and sat on the steps watching the chaos unfold. My parents looked increasingly embarrassed as everyone questioned their basic adulting skills. My aunt looked confused. Why didn't you ask your son for help? He works for the electric company. My neighbor said he saved her family hundreds on their bills. Uncle Steve nodded. Yeah, he helped me switch to a better gas plan last year, cut my costs in half. My cousin added that I'd warned her about those solar panel scams. Mom's voice cracked. We didn't know he was helping other people. He never offered to help us. That's when I walked out with my phone, showing them my banking app. Every utility payment I'd made over 3 years. Every employee discount I'd applied to their accounts. Every late fee I'd prevented by setting up automatic payments. The total was $18,000. Everyone stared at my parents while the expensive Christmas dinner sat there getting cold. My relatives started asking uncomfortable questions about how they'd been treating me. Uncle Steve looked disgusted. You called your own son a leech while he was secretly paying your bills? Aunt Lisa shook her head. That boy saved you more money than most people make in 6 months. My relatives left early, completely shocked by what they'd learned. The house emptied except for the 3 of us and all that food nobody wanted to eat anymore. My parents sat at the dining table in silence for almost an hour. Finally, Dad cleared his throat. Look, maybe we misunderstood some things. Just go back to handling the utilities like before. Not an apology, just an order. Sure, I said. My consulting fee is $200 monthly. Mom's face went red. Consulting fee? We're your parents. I shrugged and headed back to my room. I thought I was a leech who needed to pay my own way.